Painting figures is easy. All we do is paint lemons. 30 a minute. Here's our first lemon. I feel romantic. I'll have them holding hands. There's another lemon, look. We'll have a blue one. And we'll have a green one. Now all we do now is some quick twitches. And we've got the legs. Just twitch, look. Now at the moment they're falling down because they haven't got heads. So we'll just put a little head on. Shadow underneath, always very important, always link them to the ground. Now this fella's got a handbag. And this one's got a stick. And there's some figures. I'm going to show you one more way to do figures. We're just going to have a wiggle. So we'll have a brown wiggle. Just have a wiggle like that, look. There's another wiggle. Just do it wet and wet. Oh, it should be more yellowy. Not very distinctive. Just have a wiggle like that. And there's an orange wiggle. Again, just put the legs on, look. There's a chap out on the town with a couple of ladies. Link them to the ground again. Very, very easily. Just impressionists of people. You can do it. Have a go. I want to introduce you now to the technique of glazing. This is where acrylics come into their own. Unlike watercolours, you can glaze with watercolours, but if you're not careful, you don't have a soft brush and a soft touch, you can lift the underpainting. With acrylics, when it's wet, you can do anything you can that you can with traditional watercolour. But the beauty is, when it's dry, you can't lift the underpainting. So you can apply glazes, which is basically a wash over another wash, over and over again, and build up your colours. So if you're a beginner and you can't get your colours right, for applying, for example, a raw sienna glaze over the whole of your painting, you've harmonised your colours because you put one colour over every other colour. So what we're doing now, I've done a scene of a beach, and I'm going to change this. I painted it pretty cold, and I'm going to change it by glazing to show you the techniques involved. What I've done, I've mixed two glazes in little pots. These are the tops of my water pots. I've mixed a raw sienna glaze. Now what is a glaze? A glaze is a little bit of paint and lots of water. So I've mixed a raw sienna glaze and I've mixed a cadmium red glaze. So I'm initially going to warm this painting up by applying a raw sienna glaze. Here we go. I'm using my sky and texture brush. Now what you should do is test your glaze first of all for the value of it, how dark or light it is, on a bit of similar watercolour paper. But I've done it quite a while, so I think I'll get it right. So here we go. So we're going to apply that. Now that's a bit dark. So I'm just going to go into some water and I'm going to continue down there, look. See how that warms it up? It's wonderful for snow scenes. You can do a lovely snow scene, put it on your wall for 6 months, and when you get tired of it, you can take it down and change it into an autumn or winter scene. I'm just going to put some over here, look, some raw sienna. See how it warms up the painting? Wonderful. I'm going to add just a little bit more over here, look. You can put several coats on, it doesn't matter. Now that's added a real glow to that painting. Into the water again. I'm just going to soften the edge there with some clear water. Now what I need to do now is dry that before I apply the next glaze. We're going to apply the next glaze now, but I need to wet it all over with some clean water. So when I put the glaze on, I'll get a nice soft edge to the end of the brush stroke. Right, this is the frightening bit. We're going into the cadmium red. That's obviously too dark. Back into the water pot. Just gently stroke it across like that. Add a bit of colour across the bottom here, look. Glazing is a wonderful technique. You can change your painting completely. But it's best to be safe. You should really try your colours on a bit of similar watercolour paper first. If you put it on as too light, just dry it and do it again. Build it up gradually rather than overdo it. I'll just put a little bit over here like that. And we need to put some down this side of the beach. That's frighteningly dark, so I'm going to dilute it again. In other words, I'd mix my glaze. I should have tested it first. So there's a valuable lesson for you. But don't worry about it. All I'm going to do, look, is take a bit of tissue and go across and soften it. Don't worry about it. You want to relax when you're painting. I'm just going to take a bit off there where the sea's gone red. If you've got tissue in your hand, you can always change it. I'll just take some off the mountains. Let's have a look at it. I think I'm quite happy with that. We'll maybe use a smaller brush. Use a little bit. And just use the side of the brush and put a bit more across here. More water. And then play the violin, take it back and soften it again. Painting should be relaxing. Shouldn't be worried about it. There we are. Now we need to dry that completely. What this painting needs now is some figures in along the beach, just in profile. Showing you how to do figures. All you do is paint lemons with legs on. So here we go, put some in. We'll have one here. Another one there. One here. For some reason, an odd number comes out the best. One here, one there, possibly one here. I think that'll probably do. No, it won't. We'll have a few close together. These two are talking. Right, now again, we just twitch down for the legs. Just quick twitches. The feet should come together. We don't put shoes or boots on. And the legs should be slightly longer than the body. Underneath again, the shadows. Very important. And don't miss the heads off. Don't make the heads big. Don't paint necks in, just leave a space. Now that's made a terrific difference to that painting. You could colour your figures in if you wanted, but this is an evening scene, and therefore they just appear all dark. I remember doing a workshop in Norfolk, and the Candy took me out for a meal to the beach, and it was full of all these little lemons with legs walking about. A simple thing like that has changed that painting and given it life. So that's been an introduction to glazing. Now what I suggest you do is to use a simple 10-minute sketch and then split it up into 2-inch strips and put a different coloured glaze over each part of your painting. You can use a burnt sienna, a raw sienna glaze, you can do a red glaze, a blue glaze and so on. Just so that you can see the effect that glazing has on your painting. It changes it completely. Let's for example assume that you painted some grass and the grass is too gaudy, it's too garish. If you put a blue glaze over the green grass, it'll get rid of the brightness and turn it back into more natural colour. If you paint grass and you paint it too dark, by putting a raw sienna glaze over, it'll give it sparkle. Glazing is a wonderful technique, and it's particularly good for the beginner who has difficulty getting your colour harmony. You can look at your painting, you can apply glaze all over or just in selected parts, and it changes your painting completely. Have a go, it's a wonderful technique. Well, I hope you've enjoyed watching me paint for you. I've certainly enjoyed it. Happy painting. See you soon.
Now available to buy. Try these techniques at home whenever you wish. The DVD of today's workshop and the book that accompanies this series are now available to order from the Painting and Drawing channel. For further information and to order your copy, go to www.paintingdrawingchannel.com.